Okay. We're here. Ian's breathing heavily. He's excited for the CU podcast for Tuesday.
I'm dying.
January 22nd, 2019. Oh, you gonna beat me up now? I got you sick? Alongside this sicko.
Knucklehead.
I'm actually still a little sick. It's like holding on. It's lingering, but it's like 1% better every day. But I'm miles ahead of where I was even on like Friday and Thursday. This is a CU podcast. I say that? It is.
Hi.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry, before I go off on my sickness like I'm a 75-year-old woman. I'm feeling it in my bones today. We got stuff to talk about, right?
Yeah.
We got I should have the topic list open, but we're talking about we got a scumbag sale of the week, which may surprise you. It might be a bigger, higher profile one than you might want.
Machinima closing their YouTube channel.
Machinima.
Yeah, that's
I guess
fine.
it's Machinima, but yeah.
YouTube banning prank videos. EA canceling the open world Star Wars. That's 2 Star Wars games they've cut down before we even really knew anything about them.
If they strike them down, they'll become more stronger than you can possibly imagine. But they won't, because there'll be no games. And Q&A going on too. So Ian's a little sick.
I'm just real tired. I'm cloudy.
Or recording this earlier than usual. That's probably what it is. Ian's not used to getting up before 11 o'clock. He's on campus hours. Like I
still keep restaurant hours.
like the summers, I'd be home from college. I sleep till 10:30, 11, 11:30. Like, who cares? Stay till 2:30 in the morning. Doesn't matter. No responsibilities. This isn't a job.
I went to bed early last night. I went to bed at 3:30.
Ian, this is just a hangout that he happens to get paid for.
Yeah.
There's no responsibility needed.
There is.
No, he showed up on time, kind of.
Yeah, I was on time.
All right. So anyway, Ian, you wanted to briefly mention a charity stream that just happened.
Oh, yeah, just wanted to give a shout out to the H Bomber guy stream.
H Bomber.
$250,000 in support of
Mermaids?
Mermaids, yes, which is I am so awake. Which is a charity that helps teens, transgender teenagers.
Okay.
It was in response to
they raised $340,000.
$340,000. Okay.
Yeah. This. You want to bring this up?
Well, it was huge. It was all over, and people are going to ask. And it was done in 57 hours in response to Gran Linehan talking shit in the UK again. So
I don't know who that is.
He's creator of the It Crowd, Father Ted, he's big. He did a bunch of UK comedies.
Okay.
So that's huge, especially for something that was spur of the moment. I've never heard of H Bomber guy before, but apparently he's quite a big streamer.
It's funny because I have
UK.
recently.
Yeah.
He's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
So it's why it's so weird, because I saw this guy come up. I'm like, I just realized this guy he does like videos, and they're called like a measured response. They're like these like long form videos that calls out bullshit that comes up. Like he did one, I don't know how I found it. Must have been a video off of a Joe Rogan podcast, as he has climate change deniers and flat earth people sometimes on the show, mostly flat earthers, which he laughs at, Rogan, obviously. But he did a measured response to the flat earth people and just rips them apart, all their responses. He did one on how people like calling people soy boys the last year and a half.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
so
you're talking about
He did one where it's like, no, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is all based on pseudoscience from people who know what the fuck they're talking about.
Right.
Going back to like one research study about sheep like in the 40s, where all like this stuff comes from, perpetuates. And so he does very well researched things, and he rips apart certain YouTubers that are assholes and classic liberals. I always love that term.
Yeah.
The classic liberals. Which attracts the alt-right and neo-Nazi and white supremacist crowds. So I think it's always funny. That's a coincidence,
right?
All the time. Anyway, so he does stuff like that, which is really funny. I see him. Obviously he's left leaning, but his videos are funny and really well done. And that's why I thought it was funny to see this coincidence that I saw this come up and it was trending. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that he did this. So anything else to add to that?
Nope.
Okay. Speaking of marathons, we're shooting for the 9th annual NES Marathon benefiting the Children's Miracle Network for, Jesus Christ, 2.5 weeks. This is going to happen this year. February 9th and 10th. So it won't be, I don't know if I'll have as much time to do the way we usually do it, but we'll still have fun doing it, obviously. It'll be fun. I just don't know if I can do all the pomp and circumstance I can usually do. Because the last time I did it, I shouldn't have done it, and there's a lot of stuff going on. But well, it'll be fun. We'll have our guests. And I'll have a little wheel. I'm gonna order one of those wheels that you spin around.
Everyone loves wheels.
I should just borrow Gerard's.
It's about time that we
I should just pick up Gerard's after the event we might be going to. I should just do that. Other than that, there's my cough. It's lingering. What was I gonna say? Oh,
something about the last night.
Oh, let's about the NFL officiating first.
Oh, okay. I didn't pay attention. So
then we'll go into Mortal Kombat reveal. So I know gamers don't like sports out there. Gamers, a lot of us do. The NFL had their two championship games, NFC championships and AFC championships.
Gamers? You mean that
for the gamers out there? I gotta say,
that held down class of people.
Yes, for all those gamers out there don't like sports. This is the games that decide who goes to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. So both games were heavily marred by bad officiating. I mean, blatantly bad. There was money taken by the refs for mob guys bad officiating.
I mean
bad.
I saw Twitter blow up for a minute over it.
The Rams are going back for the first time since like 2001 when the first time the Brady and the Patriots went. They're going back and they got a really gift call against the Saints, who for 2 years in a row get fucked over by a weird ass event.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't that happen last year?
Last year,
something with the Saints.
Well, last year it was a prayer, like a final throw from like their own 30 that the Vikings did. That a guy caught it, a missed tackle that he shouldn't even went for, missed them and just ran 50 yards and scored. And the game was over, and it was like the most shocking ending to a game ever. Otherwise. The Saints last year would have went to the NFC Championship game, probably went to the Super Bowl, and probably would have won. But so this year there was a blatant pass interference call that wasn't called, where the guy got fucking leveled like a second before the ball got there. They called it. If they had gotten that call, they would have knelt 3 times, kicked a field goal, and won it with like no seconds left, and the Saints would have won. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. So it goes to overtime, and they end up losing. So the other game was an overtime game too, which never happened before in the history of the league.
What, 2 overtimes to determine
for the
Super
championship?
Bowl?
Yeah. So in the other game, the Patriots, you're not allowed to touch Tom Brady or breathe on him. There was a roughing the passer call, which you're not allowed to do strikes to the head anymore, even by accident. If you go to swipe the ball, hit the quarterback in the helmet. Mm-hmm. The guy slapped him here, like it was like here, chest, and 15-yard penalty on. It would have been like a third. It would have been like a 3rd and 10. Instead of it's like first down again. Of course, they end up scoring again. There was other weird calls. They overturned a call where there was a punt where it might have grazed his finger, and then who they play? God, now it's too early for me. The Patriots played. Holy shit! Who did the Patriots play? Patriots played. God, I can't remember.
Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs, yes. So the Chiefs got like 3 or 4 calls where none of them went their way at all. So it was not as blatantly bad as the one call in the Saints Rams game, but it was still terrible. So now people are like, this is a Mars Super Bowl. Like that's what people are like, this is fucking terrible. We need replay on all these fucking penalties, which I don't know why they never did that before.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Especially like in the last 2 minutes of a game. Because all these bad calls happen in the last 2 minutes of both games. So you have to do that. NBA now does that inside 2 minutes for bads like out of bounds stuff. You got to do it. Anyway, Ian, what do you think about Mortal Kombat 11 reveal? What do you think about this?
I'm looking forward to it. It looks pretty good. I don't think it looks as different as a lot of people were expecting it to look.
I saw something like, look how much better the graphics are. I'm like,
the graphics do look nice.
Sure.
But
the last game was like, what, less than 5 years ago, right?
Last game was at the beginning of the first generation, at the beginning of this generation. So yeah, it was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Mortal Kombat X.
4 years ago.
Roman numerals are cool. 2015. So we're talking 3.5 years.
Okay.
Only.
But it does look nicer. I will agree with that.
I saw people being like, the punches don't look as stiff anymore than the kicks, and I'm like, they still look stiff to me. That's something I want to get into. But you don't play Mortal Kombat for the awesome martial arts moves. That's all I'm going to say. You really don't. And that's where I was this was Old Man Pat comes in. And it's really not Old Man Pat, because this is the only fighting game series that I really have a disdain for at this point out of all of them. Because when I see these trailers online and I see everything, yes, they are overly violent. Yes. I get that. Yes, the game got big on blood and gore and fatalities. But now it seems like that's what people are into first and not like the little cherry on top.
I don't...
That's what I'm seeing, at least.
I mean, that's obviously how they're going to push it, but Mortal Kombat's actually gotten decent as a fighting game over the past few years.
It's gotten decent.
Well,
better than decent. That's 3 stars.
Honestly, better than decent. Especially Mortal Kombat 10. But
are the mechanics still largely the same? I know they add in like the fucking brutality stuff. Things like that.
No, I mean, the mechanics have changed quite a bit. I mean, your basic, it feels like Mortal Kombat, like okay, this
fast
is Mortal
jump
Kombat,
kicks
but it feels better. It plays better.
Is the blocking any better?
I don't know. I mean, that's just a preference between block button and pressing back, and I don't particularly like using the block button.
I don't like it when you can counter.
I'd like to press back, but yeah, for blocking. But no, I like the game, and I think Mortal Kombat 11 is going to be fine. It's one that I've changed on. It's not my favorite, but I don't despise it like I used to.
So you did despise it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
quite some time. Mortal Kombat 9 was the first one where I was like, oh, this isn't bad, and then 10 actually impressed me. Okay. But I mean, if they're you might not have any idea if they're just focusing on the fatalities and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, at that point, you never played Mortal Kombat for like, oh, let's see the great different styles, because everyone has the same style. So I mean,
oh no, not anymore. Absolutely not anymore.
They have a bunch of different punches and kicks.
It's you've got your zoners, you've got your projectile people, you've got all the different types you would need in a fighting game.
So they actually
they do have different, and the combos are a lot better. No, the game is considerably better than it once was.
Okay. I'm stuck in Mortal Kombat 3.
Yes, which is no surprise.
Hating those running combos that take off 60%
Mortal
of your health.
Kombat 3 was awful.
That was a bad one.
I think that was, like...
I didn't like the fact that run button was like in the northern hemisphere, like you like twist your fingers around to hit it.
Yeah, that was like,
you hit this weird like surfer dude thing to hit that run button. Is that just me? Okay, I'm just turned off by. I'm sorry, I'm turned off where people are like, look how cool it is that the blood gets sucked up into tentacles and stabs a guy in the eyeball, and just look at Baraka chewing the guy's brain. That's hardcore.
I mean,
that's not a fighting. I mean, that's like a cinematic.
That's
thing.
A moment of it, and I mean, it's played mostly tongue in cheek.
Literally tongue in cheek, tongue ripped out of cheek. That's not tongue in cheek, Ian. That's like straight up graphic violence. That's not RoboCop violence, where you can tell it's like like a bucket of Kool-Aid thrown in a guy. It's not tongue in cheek. I'm sorry.
Right,
I think the first 2 are tongue in cheek.
You're gonna be old man Pat.
I'm old man.
I'll be hello teenagers.
I'll kick anyone's ass at Tekken or Street Fighter 2 or probably even King of Fighters. I'm pretty good at. All right, you forgot the last time I played. Actually, one of the only times I played it. Anyway, all right. I want to talk about this real quickly because this could be funny or not. But this is my experience watching. This was on. I think it was on. Was it on TV? Oh no, it was on demand for free on AT&T. God, I need to recollect. Transformers the last night. So I saw the first Transformers in the movie theater. 2 and 3 I saw parts of on TV. And then they didn't do a reboot, but then 4 and 5 they did with Mark Wahlberg. They got rid of Shia LaBeouf. They got him out of movies forever, it seems like. And they did 4 and 5. And now they rebooted it into the 80s, which it should have been originally with Bumblebee. It was supposed to be a good movie with our pal John Cena. For some reason, he's our pal. So Transformers the Last Night is the 5th one. And this is where they decided, I don't think they're going to do a Transformers 6 off of that anymore. They decided they're not, even though they still make money. But I watched this movie. These are all the Michael Bay ones, by the way.
Right.
The Bumblebee's not Michael Bay. They have someone else doing it. And this was like a fever dream watching this movie. And I on purpose have not gone back and looked at the plot synopsis online or Wikipedia'd it. This is all my memory on a late night. I think I watched it on a Friday night just to watch it when nothing else was on at like 11 p.m. He's gonna look it up to see how correct I am.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm doing.
look up Wikipedia. So the movie opens cold open. It's medieval times. It's like a gigantic knight battle with knights.
First, hold on. Sorry.
No,
okay, sorry. I was going to say, plot, first line, in 484 AD, King Arthur.
Don't give it away.
Okay, sorry.
Don't fucking spoil it.
I feel like people know we're going here. Go.
So it's 480. I was going to say, because it says like 1600 years ago. I'm like, wait a minute. That's a little bit too early for like full armored knights. A little bit, because that's when the Romans were still there doing shit. So the knights and that shit, I thought didn't happen until like 800, 900. Like 1,000 around there. Anyway, I mean like the heavily armored guys. Anyway, so it's like a 15-minute night battle with knights. I'm talking like this is stuff you saw back in Gladiator. Like this is like a big ass battle. This is a Michael Bay doing night battle. Like fucking giant 20-foot winding wheel flame things crushing guys. And I'm watching. I'm like, okay, this is a Transformers movie. They're gonna tie this in somehow. Okay. This is interesting. So you find out, thanks as well, Ian, that it's actually King Arthur and like Galahad and Lancelot and the Knights of the Round are fighting against some invading barbarian force. Not the Romans, I think. It's just some barbarians going on. So the history's all off to begin with. Not that King Arthur was ever real history. I think. They think he might have been a real guy. I don't know. So then there's a Merlin the magician. Mm-hmm. There's a Merlin guy that you find out is just some like fraudster who says, I'm a fraud, I'm not a real magician, or whatever. So then the knights are like, where's Merlin? He's got to help us. So then Merlin goes and talks to, I guess, an ancient transformer that's a knight. And the ancient transformer gives him a staff that is supposed to be like Merlin's magic staff, but it's just like a Transformers mechanical staff. And I guess this is where it gets hazy, because at this point I'm like, I must go back to the computer out looking at shit. They get the staff, and then they win the battle, but at the same time, there's other Transformer knights to match King Arthur's knights. So there's ancient knight Transformers, but there's 13 of them that when they combine, they're a dragon. So I guess that's where dragons come from.
Dragon Storm.
Okay.
That's what it says here.
Okay. This is 15 minutes of the movie, the first 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. So the Knights of the Round were really based off of Transformers, but there were still the Knights of the Round. Okay. Flash forward to modern day.
In the present.
In the present. So I guess based upon all of the massive destruction of the last 4 Transformers movies, where entire cities are fucking destroyed.
Hong Kong uprising, it says.
Can you stop giving this? I want to see how much I can remember.
You're talking about it.
There's a city. It wasn't Hong Kong. It's in the U.S. There's a city that it says it's a no-go Transformer zone, where it's like it's chain link fenced off, which is no one could get into that. So these fucking teenagers, young teenagers, like 13-year-olds, get into this no-go zone where there still are Transformers lurking around somehow in the U.S. But there's also like U.S. military drones to seek out and capture the remaining Autobots or Decepticons. They don't care. There's like this international force that will just kill any Transformer or capture them. So these teenagers decide it's a good idea to go in there, 13-year-olds. They stumble across a 14-year-old girl that has been living by herself in this Death Valley somewhere, nursing a Transformer back to health by herself and living by herself. So these kids stumble...
Quintessa, is that her name?
Probably. So these teenagers stumble across her, and it gets creepy right away because the 14-year-old girl is over-sexualized. It's Michael Bay, so of course... she has like the same like Megan Fox low cut top on, but she's only 14. I'm hoping the actress is at least 18, but probably not. Even the 14-year-old other kids at 13 comment on her chest at some point. This is where I wasn't totally paying attention. Like, what the fuck is this? But you hear like there's like a chest pun, and the dorky kid looks up at her. Anyway, so Mark Wahlberg shows up to save the day. I don't know how they introduced him in the 4th movie. Mark Wahlberg saves the day and rescues these kids and this 14-year-old girl. The Autobot she was taking care of dies from a fucking plane hitting it, a U.S. plane strike. So they go back to like Mark Wahlberg's like desert hideout in a giant junkyard, and then the military Megatron comes back. The military says for some reason, go after Mark Wahlberg, which doesn't make any sense since Megatron tried to kill the Earth like 5 times. And I thought Megatron died in the other movies. So Mark Wahlberg somehow goes to, he escapes and goes to London. And all of this, by the way, one of the original knights, the Transformer Knight that gave Merlin the staff, had an amulet that attaches to Mark Wahlberg's arm. So that's a big key of this. He goes to London to meet up with Anthony Hopkins.
Completely lost track. You skipped over some key points, it appears.
Anthony Hopkins is the keeper of the long line of people that have kept Transformers secret for 2,000 years. The Wikis, which was Shia LaBeouf, was part of this chain of people that have kept Transformers secret. Okay? Mm-hmm. So he goes to London. At the same time, Anthony Hopkins seeks out, I'll just call her hot Oxford British history professor woman. Seeks her out. It's the Michael Bay model du jour, I guess, for this movie. Seeks her out and Mark Wahlberg. They meet up to discuss what the fuck's going on, what's this amulet, and then you discover that Anthony Hopkins built his mansion, Ian, around the original King Arthur round table. So it's in his house. He built his mansion around this. He's a big history buff, apparently. Apparently, that's a sturdy table that survived 1,600 years. So you find out that this King Arthur staff is the key that Megatron, excuse me, not Megatron, the fucking, Quintessa is the Cybertron female deity bot that created the Transformers.
Okay, I'm going to guess the teenager's name is Isabella.
Yes, okay. So Quintessa wants to merge Cybertron with the Earth somehow. To rebuild Cybertron, you must suck the energy out of the Earth. So Cybertron starts coming towards the Earth like a giant meteor, basically. It starts moving towards the Earth. So so Anthony Hopkins, he must have got paid a lot to be in this movie, has to seek out Merlin's staff before the Decepticons get it. Okay? So this so they hijack. Oh, you find out that the hot professor lady is the last in the line of Merlin. She's Merlin's like great granddaughter.
There's something you haven't brought up that should have been brought up at
this
the
is from
first
memory.
paragraph. Okay.
This is from memory. What did I miss?
You haven't mentioned Unicron at all.
Unicron. So Unicron,
his horns are apparently growing out of the planet.
Yes, I was going to get there. I was actually going to get there. So Unicron is the Earth, basically, which has something to do with Cybertron becoming the Earth. I don't get it. Okay. So already there's sexual tension between Mark Wahlberg, who is the buffest like Transformers mechanic there can be, and hot professor woman, which they even comment on how hot she is, because they're like, you're wearing like model tight clothes and you're coming to Anthony Hopkins' house, and this is really weird.
This is a Michael Bay movie, you say?
In the middle of this, there is a random World War II flashback to Bumblebee and other Transformers taking out Nazis in World War II. Just for shits and giggles, you find out that like the Transformers were somehow been secret, helped us win World War II. And Bumblebee was one of those guys taking down Hitler. Okay. Moving on. So
I'm excited for this.
They hijack a moored old World War II British submarine, right? They hijack it.
Right.
They know how to run a sub that somehow still runs, that's 75 years old. They take the submarine, they go down somewhere where the original 13 Transformers Knights are, and that Merlin staff that's actually a weird Transformers technology.
Sorry,
thing.
I gotta go back to the first paragraph, first minutes again.
What?
Apparently, Optimus Prime was deemed bad.
They threw him into space in the last movie.
Nemesis Prime. Okay.
I was going to get to that. So, in the wake of all this, somehow Optimus gets back home to Cybertron, where the Quintessa, weird motherly, not even a bot, it's just like an energy force, makes Prime evil so that he can save Cybertron by destroying the Earth. Okay. They go underground, and by the way, the character from the original ones, the military guy comes back, and they meet up because you got to have a lot of military guys in Transformer movies. They get Merlin's staff. No, excuse me. What happened with Merlin's staff? No, that's right. Megatron and those folks or whatever get Merlin's staff. Okay, so Cybertron is now right outside the Earth. It's in the atmosphere. They got to get up to Cybertron, get back the staff before it's basically like Galactus. It's going to put all the tentacles in the Earth, suck out the energy. That's what's going to happen. They do a halo jump, like from the space with these jets, get all the military guys on Cybertron. Excuse me, on Cybertron to get the staff. It's a gigantic clusterfuck of a battle. Almost all the military guys die. There's a handful of Transformers that are helping out. They got to fight off Optimus. Optimus realizes when he's ready to kill Bumblebee, Bumblebee's voice comes back from nowhere and says, "I am your friend." Like, they don't explain how he got his voice back. Because earlier in the movie, they tried to get his voice back and it didn't work. He still had a weird voice, so he ripped it out. Optimus turns good again. They fight off Megatron. The hot professor woman touches the staff, gets the staff back. They destroy Cybertron. So the denouement of this clusterfuck of a movie is that the Earth still is Unicron. So the Earth is a gigantic transformer. Right? We follow that?
Yeah.
So that's basically how the movie ends. I know I left out stuff, but that was to the best of my knowledge. And that was way long of a synopsis, I understand. But Ian, I had to explain to you what that felt like watching that movie. And it was insane.
Yeah.
It was an insane fucking movie.
I see that Stonehenge was worked into.
Yes. Yes. Stonehenge is the center of the Earth at one point, and Anthony Hopkins goes out like a G. Anthony Hopkins by himself walks up to Megatron, pulls out a Transformer cane, and starts shooting him with a machine gun. So Megatron, at the same time, is getting shot by all these tanks, singles out Anthony Hopkins and says, "Puny human," and shoots him just so Anthony Hopkins can die heroically, but there was no reason for him to be there. Like, he wouldn't have hurt Megatron. Okay, that's the longest intro ever. That was 27 minutes. We gotta get going because Ian has an hour before he's gotta leave.
Not even at this point. I don't even have an hour. So good. All right.